What's happening, chess fans? Welcome to Net Chess and Chill. Today is technically episode 83 of my rapid rating climb series, where we have been on a journey to 900 ELO. Now, I have a confession to make. Last weekend, I got drunk and played chess and proceeded to lose probably 25 games out of, I think, 33 that I played in like a 2 day span. Um, yeah, that is frowned upon in what we're trying to do here. So I actually kind of took a week off from drinking and everything else just to get my head right and kind of reaffirm what my goals are on this channel. And I think one of the goals is I want to have fun playing chess, and I do have fun playing chess, and I had fun playing drunk chess, and even though I was losing, I had a blast doing it. But realizing that I had lost like a bunch of progress, basically 150 points of ELO, really got to me. And so I spent the week trying to think about what I wanted for this channel, and I think we're gonna have a new format sort of thing. I've been playing multiple games a day. I might take breaks here and there and not play every single day, but I have content because I played 3 games the day before, things like that. I think moving forward, I'm going to be playing chess every single day, and I also think that I'm going to set a bigger goal for myself rather than just trying to get to the next 100 ELO mark. I think setting my sights on 1,000 ELO, which has kind of been my ultimate goal in my head kind of the whole time, just to get to 1,000 ELO. That seems like, a great kind of like benchmark for me to kind of start um, as a goal for the future. So yeah, I want to get to 900 ELO, but ultimately with the main goal being getting to 1,000 ELO. So I think we're gonna kind of reformat this and say I'm gonna be playing chess every day until I get to 1,000 ELO, ups, downs, what may have you. So that's one thing. Also, a second thing is I've spent the past week kind of doing family things. If you guys celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. And I've also spent the week trying to gain back my ELO, and I have recently gotten back up to my 800 ELO. I think that I am easily rated 800 ELO. I beat 700s pretty easily. Normally, I have bad games here and there where I lose, but I think that I could easily work my way up to being 1,000 ELO, especially with some of the games that I've been playing. Um, I think it's a good goal to have, and from there maybe we'll start a new series. If I reach 1,000 comfortably, maybe we can start a new series where I try to get even higher, or maybe even play a different time format like Blitz or Bullet, maybe even potentially. So that's the goal for the channel. I will still be making my puzzle content. Like I said, just kind of took a break from uploading for the whole week, basically. So I guess with that in mind, what I'd like to do is go over the 2 games that got me back up to 800 ELO. I just played them, played pretty well, and I just like to kind of go over the game review with you guys. And next episode, I promise you, we'll play a normal game, normal video setting episode. So I guess without further ado, let's get into kind of what I have going on. So in this game, I played a guy named Kasparov 83, and I played with 82.8% accuracy, and they played with 71.4. I didn't have any blunders or any misses, but I did have 4 inaccuracies and a mistake. So let's see kind of where I went wrong, in this game. This is the game that got me over 800 ELO again, so it kind of got me right back to where I was, even though I was rated about 860, I think, in my last episode. So with that being said, I start off. I've been doing this a lot, where I play just an early C5, especially when I'm playing D5, because I like playing the Caro Kann, and this just makes me feel like I'm sort of playing the Caro Kann anyways, even though it's not. So they take. Now I develop my knight. That's not the best move in this position. Just blocking my bishop in is actually the best move. I'm not really comfortable with that, so I just take space with my knight, develop naturally. Um, they proceed to hang a pawn, which I take with my knight. Now they threaten my knight. I come right back. These are 2 best moves. I don't know why he played that move. He kind of played weird in this game, and you'll see kind of as we progress. Yeah, I mean, he did that to threaten my knight, and then he just plays a4 anyways. Now in this position, I make my one and only mistake, and I actually play the move a5. trying to not let his pawn come up any farther, but actually just taking the center is the best move. So um, playing a move like e5 is by far the best move. Um, I just had a different kind of vibe right there. So, excuse me. In this position, my opponent just pushes another pawn. Again, just not developing anything on the back rank. I just say, hey, I'm going to develop. Take this as an opportunity to develop. He brings a bishop out. Now, I go for a cheeky little check, which he just blocks with f3. So I was hoping maybe he'd bring his knight out, but I mean, this makes a little more sense, I guess. Still not even his best move. Just bringing his knight out here to even do that, potentially, is his best move. He at least develops this way. So with that in mind, I just back my bishop up, which is an inaccuracy, bringing my bishop all the way back. So during this game, I did have this problem with this pin. Because this pawn is all the way up here, I actually can't chase away the bishop. And my opponent just kind of utilized that the whole game. He's anchored in his bishop like this, and I really don't have any way to chase away the bishop with my bishop being all the way out here. So I kind of had to just deal with the pin, which, all right, I mean, here I'm threatening to win a pawn, right? So I've done what I normally do in a Caro and given me this nice little wall of pawns, and I'm ready to activate my bishop now. So you know, we're doing good things, but he develops a knight, not really seeing that this is what I'm attacking. So I would have rerouted my knight maybe over to here if I was him to defend this pawn, something, I guess. But instead, he just hangs the pawn. Now he threatens my bishop, and I just back up. And that's not what we want to do. We want to come here and control all these cool squares. Like, this is a beautiful bishop. And his bishop has not left home. So, I mean, he could bring his bishop out here, which probably the way my opponent was playing would be his next move. But it's better than me just retreating my bishop back to here, you know, hoping that he moves that bishop so I can take that pawn. So he castles, I castle. This gets me unpinned. Now I can actually move this knight. Instead, he actually threatens, like, this is why my bishop here would have been a better move, because I could just have avoided this, right? He threatens my rook. And so now I actually pin my rook again. Yeah, just taking check would have been a fantastic move. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I mean, he could just slide over, but anyways, so that would have been the best move. In my eyes, I actually just pinned my rook again to this stupid bishop. So he blunders right up. So let's see why that's a blunder. Yeah, because I just take the pawn with check. So yeah, he just does not care about his pawns in this game. I'm up 2 pawns to his 1. Gave a check, and I actually win the knight with this move because he has no defense of it. So now he wants to trade. I am down to trade because I'm up a piece and 2 pawns, so basically like a rook's worth of material. I bring this bishop down because he's on an ugly square, and it ends up being the best move. Bishop's kind of out of play up there. He's not pinning the queen anymore, right, or the pawn to the queen or anything anymore. So now with this move, I kind of had to do some thinking. I brought my queen up. He offers a queen trade, and in this position, I just defend my queen because I don't want to take and allow this. The problem is that my rook was pinned. Now my rook is unpinned, and he's defending my queen. They just don't care, and this is another inaccuracy. I should have just taken the queen here and let them recapture, and then, you know, done something like this. Yeah, it would have been a lot cleaner to do it like that. But I thought I just moved my rook over here. It's defending my queen. But really, the inaccuracy is not because of anything other than he moved his rook into the path of my bishop, and I can just take that. And I should have done that, because if he does do that and he takes with the rook, then I can take the queen. So in this position, I take the stupid knight. I then take the rook. He takes my queen first, which is very important. I take his queen back. He takes, and now in this position, I'm gonna take the open file with my rook, and here we go. So I'm rerouting my knight. I want to get my knight maybe over to here. It seemed like a nice square. Um, it's not the best move, but I did have kind of a thought for it. So now that he relinquished control of this square, I can double up my rooks, and we have bad intentions. So I hung this pawn, but I'm not actually that worried about that. So the best move in this position is actually just to threaten the bishop. Um, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I come up here actually threatening to win this pawn, and my opponent actually just decides to give up all sorts of material. So that's definitely a free bishop. I take the bishop. My opponent then proceeds to hang his rook, and I take the rook. So my opponent threw kind of a temper tantrum right there at the end of the game. I don't really know what happened. Um, the game says that I played like an 1150, which is quite a bit higher than my rating, so I'm very proud of myself. And I mean, it was all right. Wasn't the best game in the world, but it was a game. So I kind of want to go into the second game that I played, which was, in my opinion, a pretty good game by me. Um, so in this game, I played really well. Played with 94.9% accuracy, and my opponent played a dreadful game. I actually won't even say how bad he played, but I had 0 blunders, 0 misses, 0 mistakes, 0 inaccuracies, and the reason I didn't get 100% is because I had one just kind of good move. But this game I'm proud of, and it got me quite a bit, but comfortably over 800, so that if I lost a game, I'm still over 800, sort of thing. So I go for kind of a London setup. Now, my opponent plays for an early c5, kind of like how I do, and I know that the reason I play that is because I think it's annoying to play against when I play the London. Now, in this position, I actually just play e3 per usual. I don't think that c3. I mean, I know that when they play their, c6 or c5, I should probably play c3. Typically, the d pawn and the c pawn like to be together, but if he's gonna take, I'm gonna recapture this way, and I'm comfortable doing that. We can build the pawn wall on this side of the board. That's fine. So he actually, to me, this is not a mistake. Normally, it's a mistake if this knight is in front of the pawn, which they want to play like this. Like if the pawn is still on c7, to me, this is a mistake because I can just kind of switch over into a Joe Baba London. But in this position, I just do it anyways. And my opponent develops another knight, which is a big mistake, right? Because now I actually get my Joe Baba London kind of set up. It's kind of like I just kind of went into it. So he really doesn't have a way to defend this incoming fork, right? So like my knight coming into here forks these pieces. There's not really a good defense because he has not played the move e6 yet to unleash his bishop. This knight is just kind of, it's not going to be able to do it. A lot of times they have not developed the knight, but they develop it to a6, and that's a great defense for what I'm trying to do right here. In this position, they play what I think is probably the best move, and the computer agrees is actually the best move, is e5. Now, I can take with the bishop, or I can take with the pawn, and I take with the pawn. And I don't know if taking with the bishop is better. I would imagine not. But maybe it is. Just trading down a little bit. I didn't really want to do that. In my mind, I thought that taking with the pawn was a great move. He brings his knight out. And I didn't like his knight here. I was thinking about moves like d3, threatening the knight, bringing my knight back. I kind of had some thoughts here. I didn't really know what to do. Also pushing. And ultimately, I decided to play the move e6, which is not the best move. The best move is definitely to take the free pawn in front of my queen's face, right there on d5. And I saw that move too, but I was thinking about getting this really strong knight out of the way. The queen move obviously does that because this knight is hanging once I take that pawn, and he's got to move his knight again. And he's running out of squares, right? Like he doesn't really have a good place to go. It's not looking so good. So with that in mind, I actually just pushed the pawn. They give this weird check. So I thought about this and I'm like, wait, okay. My knight's defended by my bishop, who is still at home. I really haven't developed too much in this game, but I put a big enough threat on my opponent that I'm a pawn up and they're just kind of flailing moves around. They have a weird structure. I have a pawn that's just sitting in the middle. I don't know why he didn't take this back, or set up. He could have taken it back with the bishop too, developing a piece. But instead, they go for this check, and I actually just play c3, which is the best move, stopping the check, and this is defended, and now their queen's just on the side of the board. And they can't even really threaten this pawn in a good way because my pawn is defending the square that they would use for it. So they move their king. I thought this was definitely a mistake, and the computer definitely agrees this is a mistake. So there's a way to capture a free pawn in this position. It would have been this, right? But instead they just move their king. I do not agree. I now take the pawn with my queen, and this is where it's going to get scary for my opponent. So my opponent brings his knight back, threatening my queen because his knight was hanging in the last. So I take this pawn. This knight is just chilling. So he's got to move his knight back. Everywhere else is not a good square. So he comes back to home, and it actually threatens my queen. But I can actually just play the move d6 with my queen, threatening check to the king. Now the king can only go to one square. The one square is e8, and doing so allows me to bring my really powerful pieces to fruition. Sorry, that's a weird word. Don't say that very often. Yeah, my knight on b5 is actually going to jump into c7. Basically checkmate on the king, except for he has a queen that can actually come back and take it. So he does, and I take back the queen, and my opponent doesn't want to play anymore after this position because I won a queen, and I'm up +8. Very scary scenario for my opponent, so I understand. But I played really well. I played like a 1600, and I was very proud of myself for seeing all the moves that I saw in this game. Yeah, so those are my two games. This one got me up to 810. I know I've been here literally a week ago. I was rated over 810, but like I said, we're gonna kind of turn a new leaf, and this is gonna be kind of where we go, for the rest of the channel. I'm gonna be playing chess every single day. My ultimate goal is gonna be getting to 1,000 ELO, and actually, now that I say that, let's we can change that to well, hold on. Let's fix that. We'll fix that right now. 1,000 ELO. Yeah, that looks nice. Road to 1,000. That's my ultimate goal, and I think that I got my head in a good place, and I think that I think I can easily get up to hopefully around 1,000 in a pretty decent time frame. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all my subs. I mean, I never imagined that I'd have 300 people in the world that watch me play chess. To me, that's amazing. And thank you again for watching, being there. And I wouldn't do this just for the chess content, right? I could play chess by myself. I do a lot of this to learn how to entertain you guys with my chess content, and also so you get to join the journey with me. So thank you guys again. I hope you enjoyed, and till next time.